And as a trade unionist, as a socialist, what's happening in India is a very instructive social movement for us to learn in the United States, right? But before I get started, I wanted to thank Boston South Asian Coalition for putting on this demonstration under such dire circumstances in the United States, under such terrible weather. We're still out here, right? The Party for Socialism and Liberation is a revolutionary Marxist party, and obviously it's important to recognize the role of the left in the Indian social movements, right? Especially now in this massive strike on November 26th, nearly 250 million people came through, and again in early December with the farmer strike. But as a trade unionist, we know there's this phrase, right? United we bargain, divided we beg. No matter how nice, no matter how many trinkets our employers give us, we have an understanding in the labor movement that there are two camps, right? The bosses and the workers. And regardless of what the setup is, the interests between the bosses and the workers are fundamentally opposed, right? But nonetheless, if we're not organized, that setup remains the same. The fact that the bosses are a part of this class that own everything and do absolutely nothing at all. And the workers create all the value in the world, but they have no power. Why is that, right? That's the question we have to ask ourselves. And really the decisive factor in victory of social change is organization, right? That really allows spontaneous rebellion to turn into meaningful substantive change, into a revolution. Right? And so we've really learned this lesson through the history of social movements in our countries and across the world, that the difference between these two things is organization, and that's really the important lesson we're witnessing in India. The far right-wing BJP government year after year has imposed anti-worker, anti-farmer, racist, sexist policies that have beat down the majority of the country. The mismanagement of COVID has only exacerbated this inequality and the poverty, and has exposed how cruel and negligent this system truly is. While India's economy has contracted over 20%, right, during this pandemic, billionaires in India have witnessed an increase of their wealth by 1/3. So, as we've seen in the United States and India, all across the world, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. So what made this time different, right? Why is there such a sustained, organized movement that's such a threat to the Indian government? Why have so many people, social movements, united en masse against these policies? We didn't witness, unfortunately, that same sustained mobilization after the passage of CAA, right? And these anti-Muslim bills that prevented Muslim refugees from pursuing citizenship in India. The bill was like a thunderclap across the country, right? It brought millions of Indian workers, of Muslims into the streets to demand a repealing of the bill, a withdrawal of NRC. And we often talk about the need to unite oppressed people, but we must understand what this takes. The ruling class is a very skilled and clever body, right? They'll say, look over there while they take from you. They say, go look over at the Muslims while they take from the farmers, right? Or while they take from the working class. They'll say, it's not the policies of the Indian government, it's the left activists, it's the militants. But no, it's the whole damn system, as we've seen. And it's important to recognize, as I mentioned at the top of the speech, the role of the left in this sustained and mass movement. What we see is hundreds of millions of poor people in the streets after year, breaking the previous record of the largest strike in history, in world history. But what we don't see on social media and in the news, on BBC, CNN, NBC, is what went into that organization, right? The deliberate, grueling groundwork of the left to build large, strong, mass organizations, militant organizations that can unite different oppressed groupings when the situation is so dire, when the ruling class can't wedge a gap between one group and another. And that is really the historic development of the social movements we're witnessing in India. Workers, farmers, students, all united. And as progressive-minded people fighting for real change in the United States, We must learn from our brothers and sisters in India. If we want to win, we must be organized. That is what those in power fear the most. And that's what we seek to build in the United States, right? And that's what the PSL seeks to build, a multinational revolutionary party that unites the diverse working class to take what's ours. So I'll just end with a quick chant. The people united will never be defeated. The people united
will never be defeated.
The people united
Will never be defeated.
The people united
Will never be defeated.
Thank you, thank you.